Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm MaryAnne, and you're watching MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. Thank you for tuning in. Those coming back, those that are new, I appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll get something special out of the readings that I do. Now, what I do as a format for those that are new is I read two sun sign love connection readings every day, or one, but it involves two of the sun signs. So to make a connection, right? And so basically I go around the zodiac wheel twice. I pick a featured sign so that each sign gets a reading, and the majority of the reading is predominantly for that particular sign. Today's featured sign is Virgo, the beautiful earth element of Virgo. Hardworking, very, very loyal, very determined, mutable, changeable, open-minded about a lot of things, ruled by Mercury, so very, very intelligent, very interested in succeeding and growing and expanding their knowledge that they can then share with others. And I've never known a Virgo that hasn't had a wealth of knowledge in whatever field they're in, and they're usually that of service so that they can extend that to others, pay it forward, if you will. It's a genuine want to help and you know, care for others, bottom line. But I do pick a highlighted connection. That highlighted connection is picked right in front of you. So I never really know. It's just in the description and whatnot. But it's fresh off the press and it's from Spirit. And you may know exactly what this connection is right off the bat. But there's a percentage of you that, of course, you won't resonate and you'll wonder why. Just know that there's always people that enter into our lives at any given time. And that is kind of the energy that I'm feeling. Certainly in the summer, it tends to cater to that in relationships. But moreover, I'll explain why I believe that to be what's happening now more readily than other times. But first of all, let's pick the sign. So, Spirit, who do you have in mind for today that needs to be brought up to the light for the beautiful sign of Virgo? And you have another Virgo. So that's not uncommon. I've definitely read for two combinations of Virgo and Virgo because a lot of signs will gravitate towards the same sign because of the familiarity and fundamental interests that are similar, which is one half of the equation, right? The other half, a lot of times I found in the many, many years of studying compatibility, because it fascinates me, is how opposites will attract. Because they are different and they like the different perspective and they learn from each other as well. I think even more sometimes than those that are similar to us, right? But it seems a little more easygoing when they're similar. Let's try it again for you. Capricorn, excellent. Fellow earth sign. Both, oh my gosh, both of you being extremely interested in success, in elevating yourself, whether it be through the mind, or through your physicality or your ideas. And I'll tell you, I don't know who works harder between the two of you. So I like this a lot. Not only are you the same element, which I was just explaining, which works a lot of times, I find, though you have your differences. You being a mutable sign and ruled by Mercury, the sign that represents the mind and movement and, you know, expansion, like I said. And then Capricorn being a cardinal sign. So they initiate the season of winter. All cardinal signs, and there are 4, initiate a certain season. So yes, the last of the 4 cardinals, but very much about initiation, pioneer, starting something new, being a leader, you know, motivated, movement, continual, you know, doing, keeping busy, active. And then of course the goat represents the symbolism of Capricorn. I'm sorry, I was just deterred for just a second looking at something else. And that represents the steadfast, you know, like sure-footed aspect of a goat, which is what, you know, a goat is like the most stable, sure-footed, one of the most mammals there is. Like if you notice how they can climb the highest terrains and mountains and they never even think twice. They can be sideways. You know, you see that on the freeway going by because they're eating the grass now. And they're just like, yep, this is what we do. I mean, it's not even a concern to them, you know. They're just like, the more the better, the more grass I can get, the better, the more opportunity, the next successful move I make, the better. It's always about leveling up with these beautiful Capricorn. And they usually are extremely successful because of that. They're, you know, hardworking as you are because you follow kind of a protocol. You kind of tend to go the more practical route in anything. You know, if I can see it, I'll believe it. You know, I'm not in a rush like a lot of other signs or elements can be. So, you know, there's something to be said about that. What's that famous fable of the hare and the tortoise? You would think the hare would win. They're faster than the rabbit and everything. The tortoise was more methodical and more matter of fact and, you know, regimented. But the hare got a little ahead of himself and he was like tooting his own horn and he's running this way and that. And I don't remember all the details. But bottom line is the tortoise won. You know, slow and steady wins the race. So that's kind of your motto. But it's not to say you don't have the momentum or the speed necessary to get things going. So I wouldn't equate it to that. Though, having said that, Capricorn, you are ruled by Saturn, for heaven's sakes. That is the taskmaster. That's the one where a lot of times when we hear that, you know, Saturn's in our sign, it's like, oh no. Because it tends to constrict our lives. And it makes it a little more somber and serious. And this is what you've known from day one, because that's your ruling planet. And you're not really affected by it like other people. And by the way, Saturn is known as the planet of time. You represent the meaning and understanding and how precious and valuable time is. And it's a commodity, and you know, and yet you don't feel like you have to rush because you know you're going to get it done and you're going to make sure that you do what it takes to do it. So I love your whole operus modum operandus. Is that how you say it? Your way of thinking. You're just all about let's do it. Like you should have done that. Just do it. That would be your definite, you know, marquee or what have you. And so anyway, the two of you together are workhorses, number one. So I would imagine in a relationship, romantic or not, you have the same kind of work ethic, which is really important because a lot of times I have found in my studies and doing readings and, you know, talking with people and counseling them, it's hard when one partner wants to work crazy, right? And the other's like, can't we just have some fun and go out and, you know, so if you're on that same mindset, it makes it a lot easier. And it just so happens for both of you right now with the beautiful planetary aspects happening. I like to throw that in with my readings because I'm not a famous astrologist, nor am I even a professional astrologist per se. I just love it. I study it every chance I get. I want to learn every day. And it's interesting to see if, in fact, the historical, you know, measurements of energy and so forth that each planet represents, if it does affect us, how does it? I'm fascinated. And I find that depending on, of course, many aspects as to what our natal chart is, first and foremost, the day we're born, which you can look up for free on astro.com or Cafe Astrology. You just plug in your numbers and the date you're born and time. You've got it all. There's so much to you. Besides that, I mean, it's relative to a lot of things, and it's also what we allow in. What kind of energy are we going to let happen or help us, you know? If we're feeling a certain way and we start talking to other people and they're like, yeah, I was feeling the same way, and you're like, okay, there's something to this. And then, of course, the moon controlling the tides is very evident on how planets do affect us on this earthly planet. So I like the two of you together because you get each other as far as working, but this is the time to take off a little bit of vacay. We have Mars and Venus for a little bit more time in the sign of Leo. Fiery, passionate, you know, let's have fun. Let's get out in the world. Let's be seen. Let's have courage. Let's trust in ourselves. Let's trust in our abilities. Let's trust in our relationship and the fact that we can have the people we want to be with. Should we put ourselves out there and believe it? You know, sun-ruled Leo, just immense energy, creativity, never ending, the brightest, you know, star planet in our galaxy. So that is the energies we've had in the two signs of Mars, the warrior planet of, you know, fire and energy and motivation, everything, coupled with the fire sign of Leo, and then Venus, which is all about, you know, the feminine qualities of all of us. It's about the gentle, magical things that Venus brings to our attention again, like, you know, our hearts and opening our hearts and loving others and, you know, just caring more for ourselves, taking care of ourselves, just feeling better overall when Venus is influencing us in some way. So in another couple of days, don't quote me on the date, Virgo, you're going to have Venus going into your sign, and then next week, I believe it is, you'll have Mars going in there as well, because you know it goes into each sign. It's going to be beautiful because after Leo season, starting in 2 days, then it's your season, Virgo. So it's just prompting you up and getting you ready. It's time for fun, time to socialize. I'm sure you've made your plans, and I know a lot of Virgos have already. They're very good about being organized and, you know, thinking ahead, and people always can rely on them to be that calm in the storm, that steadfast, you know, stable, grounded person that they need, right? So the two of you could be very well gallivanting off into who knows where, taking that time you need. We all need it to stop. And like I've been saying in my other readings, because last year we had to stop, a lot of us, not everyone, probably not you two, to be honest. I think you kept moving and shaking and working, but it was still different, and it still was confining last year. So that's changing, and I hope you're able to really indulge in that, even, and especially these last couple of days of Cancer season, where it is about our hearts. You know, it's about the watery element that brings in more emotion and more, you know, love and cooperation and family and people we consider family. It's a very much a Cancerian, you know, trait. So if you find yourself hanging out with family more or wanting to, that's what it's been the last 30 days or so with the Cancer season. Let me read the 3 major categories for the two of you in this highlighted. And then if that doesn't ring true for any of you and you're not sure why or what this, you know, Cancer person is, it may still happen, or you're just picking up on the energy of that, which is your energy. You're just feeling really empowered in your energy of the earth element. Okay? If you're in your gardens more and you're just feeling very, very balanced and at peace and kind of stable and you know, very present, which is so important. As often as we can to stay present, right? It will automatically ground you when you do that. So let's say right off the bat, I'm using for the remainder of the month, like today is the 20th of July, and I'm using the beautiful Golden Rider, which is like the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck that I started 32 years ago, my first deck. But this one has gold little shimmers in each one of the cards, which I really, really like, and it did seem suiting for summer and the Leo influences, and then just having a good time getting outside, bottom line, you know, doing things we haven't been able to do, getting that fresh air, being in nature. So the first overall energy is exactly that. Overall energy leading you to this reading for the two of you, Virgo and Capricorn. You've got the world. Woo! How beautiful. Now this is, well, it has a few meanings, like every card does, but it's a major arcana first and foremost. So that's a very important message and persuasion and energy coming to you. Secondly, out of the many depictions of this card would be just like, and I love this one, it's, if you look at the wreath, it looks like a wreath, it's like a vortex. It's like you're ending a cycle, making a change, and moving on to another one. And we do that constantly in our life. And that's what astrology, and actually tarot in relation to astrology, because they are connected, is about. The many, many cycles and you know, changes and transformations and phases that we go through in our life, and depending on your age and so on and so forth, you know. As you get older, like I am, you look back and went, wow, I remember that phase, like having children and then them growing up and having to say goodbye, and then all, you know, all these that everybody goes through as long as you're living, right? And it's just, it's such an interesting, beautiful way to kind of segment your life. And it's all about memories, but this is utilizing this. And just like, I'm so ready to make this change. You might want to move. You might be moving. You might want to move like far away. And I know so many people that have migrated in the last year and a half and two. It's just what's happening at this point in life, you know, for the world. A lot of it makes sense. But beautiful opportunities. Now, one other interesting part of this card is there are 4 fixed signs. It represents the 4 fixed signs. And you nor the, you know, highlighted connection of Capricorn are fixed, but we've had a predominance of Aquarius this year, which Jupiter will be going back into after the 28th, into Aquarius to the remainder of the year, like the 28th of December. It was in from January to May, and then it went to Pisces. Jupiter's about, you know, the expansion of things we want and the expansion of opportunities and ideas, particularly when it's in Aquarius. It's about technology, medicine, innovative things, you know. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the planet of change and unpredictability and surprises and just changing your world in a dime and on a heartbeat, you know? So yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Now, maybe you just want to travel together, like I said, and you're going to go far away. And fantastic, right? Make those changes. Do something you've never done. Create it. You deserve it, and that's what it's saying. The world is your oyster. What is it you want to do? What vortex are you walking into and leaving something behind? Because that's usually how it happens. It's interesting, the full moon on the 23rd, depending on where you are, 23rd, 24th, is in Aquarius, 1 degree. And that's also about just putting our mindset in a certain way and just breaking out of our norm, just freeing ourselves, you know, and moving forward and trusting and communicating in ways we've always wanted to, expressing ourselves in any form or medium, you know, written, word, through YouTube, you know, podcast, anything. It's just very much a point of revelation and expansion, you know. So yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful start for the remainder of the month going into August, no doubt. The second category is the category possible blessings or obstacles. And it's kind of like a storyline, and wow. Second major arcana, Virgo, Judgment. I love this card. I love it because it too has a few meanings, of course. I mean, it makes sense when you first see it, judgment. There's a judgment and decision to be made, but actually it's been made. This goes down into the very root of who we are, that grounded, you know, from earth, from above, so below. This is being called and beckoned to change and do something you've always wanted to do, and coming out of the ashes and from the places and depths of things that weren't working, and you know, just knowing that that can't be for me anymore. I'm going to expel all of that. I'm going to extend and expand and emerge, and I'm going to travel. I'm going to do the things I want to do, and it's a great judgment call for you or the relationship and where you're heading and the person you're traveling with, the highlighted connection that has a lot of influence in your life. And it doesn't have to be romantic, remember that. So that you people watching think, oh, I don't have a relationship. Of course you do. You have them with yourself, and you have them with your friends and your family and your animals and plants and with source. It's always there. But this is a judgment that was meant to be. It's karmic a lot of times, and it's beckoning, and you're ready. You're absolutely ready, you know. And I would say that was a blessing. If it's an obstacle, it's just that maybe you're just still maybe not ready to take this step, but you know it's right. So it's really about you just believing, first of all, with everything you are, that what your intuition, which is very heightened right now, has a lot to do with Pisces and Jupiter for the remainder of the time it is. And it's, pay attention to that. These are all very, very useful energies coming to you and all of us. And just making sure that you are aware of your inner callings and going with them and trusting and following them. And it's the right thing to do right now. Not listening to others, not that you necessarily do, either of you, quite frankly. But you can listen to each other and support each other for sure. And I feel like that's absolutely happening. There's a really beautiful, strong sense of, revelation and transformation for sure. And so the final card is that of finances. And so you have, the Hermit. Well, this is you, Virgo. This is the card that represents you. And guess what? That's your third major arcana. Very, very powerful, strong guidance, influences. And what's really interesting is I just said, listening to yourself, listening to your gut. The Hermit represents the sages of our life, our own understanding, our own inner power, our own higher power, our the gift of intuition and psychic abilities sometimes, and being in touch with, the other realms or feelings. And you have this older person, so it represents, time and cycles and seasons that have passed, and lifetimes even, if you believe in that sort of thing. And there's the lantern that carries a star. guide our way to the wisdom of life, of the past, present and upcoming times. It's going within. It's a lot of times a reclusive energy. You've wanted to kind of be with yourself, maybe in your garden, and anything you can do to, like I said, ground yourself. There was a lot of that happening for us last year, and it really, really opened up our hearts and minds to things and ideas and possibilities that we didn't have time to really think about, I suppose. But this is so beautiful, and you are that sage. You are the leader of your heart and your desires, and if it's about making money, it's about wanting to be stable and secure and wealthy in either finances or your well-being, of course, your health and everything. Just allow that. Listen to every single part of you, every cell. In the silence, of course, is always the best. And know that you are your best teacher. You really are. Though I have had some incredible help from guides and angels asking for that. They never do the work for us, but they can certainly kind of guide us into ways to get on the right path or what have you. I'm also a believer that we're never on the wrong path. It's all part of the perfect divine plan, right? But oh my gosh, 3 major arcanas. I mean, you are really, really making some changes, and it may be more than just turning another age when your season comes. This is huge. It could be, once again, a step of a different aspect of your relationship that's building, and you're definitely wanting to travel. You made the decision, okay, I am going to move in, or I am going to get married, or I am going to commit, or we are going to have those children. And it wasn't just a frivolous decision by any means. That's not what you do anyway. You give it a lot of thought. I know that about earth signs. But when you make that decision, it's pretty much permanent. It's for the long term, okay? For both of you, both of the highlighted aspects of this. So absolutely beautiful. I hope it's everything you want it to be and more. And kudos to you for making those changes. That might have been a little more difficult for you on any other, time of your life, but you just feel compelled and you've been holding back, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful, wonderful, uplifting kind of energy for you. So I'm going to finish with the rune that kind of just is the cherry on the sundae, if you will, for this reading. And I dig deep in, and what do we have for you today? We have, it looks like a boomerang to me. I think I remember now that it's supposed to be on the side, but I'm not sure if it's to the right or left, so forgive me. I don't even know if you can see it, but I love these. Runes are one of the oldest oracles with the wisdom and the confirmation of, understanding and insights that are just phenomenal. And I love how it tends to always coincide with my readings. I hope that's going to happen for you today. I set it on the second category, the possible blessings or obstacles. I'm going to read to you the various messages that come through for you. So this rune is named in the back. It is number 6, and it is Kunas. Now 6 is known as the balance number. It's the balancing your everyday, like the 6th house. It's our everyday activities, necessary to do to survive, to maintain, our health, our work, our families, our shopping, all the day-to-days that are very much integral part of our lives. And keeping a balance in that for the best life, right? So we go in, and number 6 is, like I said, Kunas. It is actually the word torch comes with it. So there's like some kind of to me, it's just like this flame, this inner, strength and fire and vitality. And perhaps the guiding torch, taking you and guiding you as to where you need to go. There's not even a question. It's just an absolute knowing, especially with the wisdom of the hermit, which in turn is actually you, right? So we go in, and it says more, September 13th through September 27th. Well, almost completely during your season, Virgo sun season. Interesting, Coincidental? I don't think so, but I love it. And then it goes past into Libra. So there's that balance, and Libra's right next to you. You kind of always have a kind of a understanding and feeling as you were just before Libra. And so, yeah, just beautiful. The words associated are skill, truth, illumination, clarification, purification, forgiveness, solution to a problem, peril, troubles, and misunderstandings overcome. Justice is assured. And here you have the time frame going into Libra, which represents the card justice, for balance and truth and, you know, compromise and, yeah, fairness for all involved. A judgment made that's fair and just. It's all so very, very synchronistic and very, very congruent with your reading. So excellent. It's just to me a confirmation of what the messages were when they're kind of repeated like that. It's beautiful. So I'm going to move on to your oracle messages for every single Virgo and every one of your connections of love, whatever they may be or whomever they may be. It could absolutely just be self-love, of course, and it could be this brilliant idea you have that you're just really fired up about and ready to see come to life. So this is the beautiful Oracle, The Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reid. So let me pick your specific one, Virgo, for the remainder of the month of July, and then going into, there's no linear time, okay? Anytime you watch it is appropriate. You may not feel the energy right away, but you should feel it at some point. The Keeper of the Scales, there you go again with the justice and the fairness and the balance. That's interesting. I feel like there's a real you may have Libra in your chart. I would love you to let me know if you want to look that up and see. It's very interesting. There's like 3 mentions of that. So there's something happening there with that, or somebody you know that's very close to you, or, you know, wanting to be a part of your life in some way, or you just like to be fair and just, period, end of story. So it's number 38, and that's an 11, and that becomes 2, and there's a partnership there again. So it's really kind of cool. And I'm going to read to you what it says about it specifically, though, in the little booklet, because the wording is so wonderful. So we'll go to 38, we're at 31, 3, 5, 7, and 8. The law of harmony is enacted when the Keeper of the Scales comes to you as an ally. Align with her as the law states, making conscious choices that create balance in your life. When you do, you also magically align with the abundance of the universe and the powerful forces of synchronicity. Well, that's been kind of obvious right now, so if that's an indication, then right on, and I hope you enjoy them, because I know I do. I look for them, I ask for them. This creates conditions and possibilities that lead to the fulfillment of your highest intentions. Absolutely beautiful. Just another message for you to kind of take in and kind of marinate and resonate with. And then the second oracle I'm using for today is the animal medicine cards, where, you know, our animal guides and spirits really do influence us, and I'm finding that to be more true than I ever have before. I've always liked animals and had, you know, pets and things, but it's even beyond that. You know, there's just this incredible knowledge and awareness of animals that they do want to impart in us. So let's see which particular animal spirit, medicine spirit, has come for you for the remainder of this month. You have the turtle, and I did only pick this it wasn't that long ago, but I don't remember it said I'm going to read to you, but it's just really cool. I remember really liking it, and I did use that as a reference today as well. The tortoise and the hare, right? So let us see what specifically is needed to know for you with the turtle. Perhaps you can kind of imagine some of the message, but it does say home, protection, journey within. And remember, we are in the last couple of days of Cancer, and that is very much about domination of the energies around the home. And if it's not, like, particularly with family, maybe your family's moved out, your kids are, you know, gone to college, or they've been moved out. It is about just wanting to beautify it and just feel comfortable. It is our castle, after all, right? Many times it's where we come to so often after work. That's our second home a lot of times, right? But it's really important that you feel really content and happy with your surroundings. But I'll read to you more about what it says. Wise turtle is always home because they got the shell around them. That is their home, right? Turtle embodies the ability to go within for protection and safety at any time, belonging partly to water and partly to land. Turtle needs both to survive. Underwater is the unconscious dream world. Okay, so I'm sorry, I read it weird. Belonging partly to water and partly to land, turtle needs both to survive, both water and land. On the land, unconscious dream world. Turtle is graceful and strong. On land, tough turtle is slower, carrying a thick shell to retreat into when faced with danger. As a result, turtle has few predators. Turtle embodies the ability to go inward and be protected. Even when faced with disruptive forces, steady on, you can walk with peace found within. So that kind of brings me to the hermit too, in a way. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of it as a turtle, but just always having that part of us that we will always stay and doesn't change, and no matter what's going on around us in our world, you know, that calm inner sense that we can create for ourselves, our inner home, right? So yeah, just a reminder of that. I feel like you really understand that though, Virgo, with your innate love of nature and how that can be so incredibly calming. And a lot of the gardens I've known Virgos to own and you know, cater to and care for, they're just phenomenal. But I'm getting there, I'm learning. I've learned some things from Virgos for sure. So in passing, in the last category, it's going to be the card that is the Super Attractor Manifestation Oracle. And it's about wishing and bringing into your physical form and reality the life that you want and choose. And you do it by how you feel. You bring that feeling of good feeling, awareness, and wanting into your every aspect of you, and then it brings back to you that very same good feeling. So one more cut here. If you are liking what you've seen and you want to come back and support my channel, please do me a favor and push the like and the subscribe. And remember, subscribe does not mean you're going to be getting a bunch of, or inundated with a bunch of things, or you have to pay anything. Absolutely not. It's like a follow. It's really, really nice and supportive. I appreciate it every time it happens. And just thought I'd put that out there. That's if you're feeling it only. So for you, your last message today, beautiful Virgo, is my super attractor power comes from how I feel, my faith and love, and the joy I put out. It's true. It's what I just said. How we feel is what we really, truly, as far as the law of attraction goes, create in our life. And I always want it to be the best feeling for you. Okay, so there's the beautiful card. It's got that powerful red, fiery, passionate kind of energy happening, like in Leo, and the season of Leo coming up. But it is our root chakra that grounds us as an earth sign and keeps us present, powerful, balanced, all the things that are necessary to stay, you know, an even keel and you know, in the present. It's best to be in the present. That's when we're our most powerful. So yeah, that's an amazingly powerful reading, and I hope that you like it and feel it this moment. But give it some time. I hope you're having a wonderful rest of the day, and that you are, if you're not on vacation now, planning that once in a lifetime vacation that you put off way too long now, and that you, that you have an amazing time, of course. But I hope to see you before that if you're not going right away. So for August, until then, thank you, and bye for now.